for this kind of like tutorials, I was just telling Adam, and I'm going to be kind of sticking to the Ableton kind of devices. So I ended up using this one called Atom Kit, which is there at the top. That's the sound of it. What we did is we loaded up a kick, and the kick originally sounded like this. I'm just going to solo it. So, and we both agree that that kick was a little bit meh. It's okay.
Let them hear it because we've got this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
so
alright.
It's a bit like, yeah, it's not the best kick. But I was showing before is that we can use this device called Corpus. Depending on the material they use, basically Corpus is known as a resonator. What we choose from is different materials or different surfaces that this kick can resonate onto. So it sounds a little bit esoteric, but basically think of it like a kind of like a funny filter of sorts, right? Which adds a little bit of flavor to the kick. And what we got here is we call these different surfaces, beam, marine, burst, string. So you can make a sound, you can make the kick sounding like if it was going through like a string, which sounds really weird like that. But also we got the membrane, which is the one that I chose because it's the one that will work best for the kick.
Isn't it? It's a bit like the way I think of it. It's a bit like if you got a little speaker and you had a snare drum without, a drum skin.
Yeah.
And you just pointed the speaker at the drum skin.
Exactly that. Yeah. Exactly.
And then you recorded it.
That is exactly how the Corpus works, and it's absolutely insane. It's like one of the best effects really for sound design within Ableton, because the possibilities are endless. Needless to say, you can even create chains of multiple corpuses, adding different beats to the sound and different harmonics to the sound.
It's amazing.
So with this, we ended up using the membrane here. We ended up bringing the volume down quite a lot, because the thing with Corpus is that it tends to clip a lot. It's just the nature of physical modeling. It builds a lot of energy onto the sound, so you will hear a lot of clipping. So my advice is like turn the gain down quite a lot. And with this, what we did as well is we play a little bit with the tuning. So we tuned the kick quite low. I'm just going to turn it off. That's the original kick. That's with Corpus. So you can hear that it really adds a lot of flavor to the sound, and it just adds a little bit more oomph, and it just sounds quite realistic. It just adds like a nice kind of low end.
Yeah, it's interesting because you could achieve a similar effect, say, with an EQ, right? You just boost the lower.
It'd be really difficult because the way that Corpus works is that it actually adds individual harmonics to the sound.
Yeah.
So even with an EQ, you will still not be able to add harmonics per se. You can boost what's there already, but adding information is a completely different.
Interesting.
Thing.
Yeah, cool.
The other thing that we did, we had this snare, and we absolutely love the effect of Corpus on that. So if I just turn it off, we ended up kind of like changing the length just to hear more of the tail of the sound, right? Because at the beginning was a little bit, I did end up tightening it up a little bit much. So, it just sounded too short. But you can hear that adding Corpus with the default beam, right? Shortening decay, originally was like this. Which is not, it's something I would never use. You could use it, but it just sounds metallic. That's the problem, right? But what we did, we ended up shortening the decay, and that gives it like a nice kind of like top-endy sizzle sound. I don't know how you describe it, but it just sweetens the sound, and it adds a nice kind of sound at the beginning of the snare.
Sweet.
I think that's really cool.
Let's put it with the rest of the beat.
Yeah, let's have a listen to that.
Yeah, I already want to add some stuff to
better,
that.
Yeah, there you go. It's going to add some extra flavour to the sound. Let's just change it to something like maybe the tube. Alright, let's just turn it down a little bit. So I'm just using a tube, which is like, as you know, is open. It's a tube that's open on both sides, right? So the sound vibrates inside the tube. And it gives you a really sort of characteristic sort of sound. And I'm just going to bring it right down and see what we can add to the sound. Again, we need to watch out for the gain, because as you can see, it gets loud very quickly. But it's interesting, isn't it?
Can we control the tuning in a different way? Maybe with some automation.
We could automate it. But I've got like a little bit of flavour. Needless to say, we can spread it a little bit so we can add kind of like a stereo effect.
Not sure about that. It's a bit
drastic, but you get the idea, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not so much. Maybe we can do a little bit, maybe like 7% or 6%. Yeah, it just adds flavour, but it's not an overkill or anything, right? So we're using the tube. We can obviously play around with different ones, but I think for bass sounds, the best ones to my ears, the best ones that work with audio are the tube and the pipe. They tend to work really nicely. I mean, you can try strings, but it might just sound a bit jarring. Can't even tell it's there.
Yeah. Maybe it's good for higher sounds.
That's quite cool.
That's actually cool. I like that. It's adding something subtle.
There you go.
Like that.
That's
yeah,
cool.
Just subtle.
Yeah.
And then if we could do more yeah.
Yeah.
We should probably wrap up this session.
I reckon we. Yeah, definitely. Let's do that. But obviously, remember, guys, when you use wavetable, you can always just change the wave shape and all that.
Crazy. Not just that.
There you go.
Hang on.
You know how it goes. Yeah, it's pretty sick. And all of that stuff can be automated, or you can have LFOs within a wavetable that trigger that.
Right, next time we need to set up the MIDI controller and just jam out a performance.
No, but it's shaping up nicely. Like it's starting to,
Yeah.
it all in any creative process, it always takes a little bit of time, doesn't it? Like, you start from basics
Exactly.
and then eventually you get to a point where you're like, yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
All right, cool. So let's finish up. Hector,
Thank you.
that was cool.
Yeah, no, it's perfect.
Yeah, we started a tune together. Okay.
I know, right?
The beginning of many. So we'll be back doing more of this, and we'll start to maybe announce it a bit more.
Yeah, we do it a little bit. Yeah, we do it a little bit more regularly, and then obviously we will announce it with a couple of days before or something, or just give enough time for people to be able to join in live.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. All right. Cheers, Hector.
No worries.
Till next time.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
See you soon.